دایی یه فرصت خوب حالا پشت مدافعان خداداد عزیزی توی دروازه گل برای ایران خداداد عزیزی باز هم روی زمین گشت سردار آزمون و توی دروازه آزمون گل به نام آزمون برای ایران بزنه کریم انصاری گل توی دروازه کریم انصاری دروازه پرتغال باز شد علی دایی سام توپ توی دروازه اشتباه حرکت از کوچان نژاد فرصت برای کوچان نژاد توی دروازه گل برای ایران.
Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of Bezan. My name is Sina and I'm joined today by Erfan and Arya. How are you guys doing today?
Doing very well. Happy to be back on the podcast once again.
I'm also happy to be back on the podcast. Excited to talk about Iranian football as always.
Yeah, a lot of things have happened since we last spoke. A lot of fairly big things and a lot of small things. So what we'll talk about is, I guess, the two games that happened in the international break. We'll talk about, and then other sort of progressing things. Obviously, qualify for the World Cup, Ghalenoei's future. We'll talk about, yeah, a lot of different things. But let's kick off with, I guess, the elephant in the room, and that we have officially qualified for the World Cup next year in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. I guess, like, on paper, looks very good. One of the first teams to qualify after drawing 2-2 with Uzbekistan. We'll talk about that game in a bit more detail soon. But yeah, just general thoughts, guys. What are your thoughts in terms of qualification?
Yeah, I'll go first. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy we qualified for the World Cup, but I think because of this whole expansion thing, the 48 teams now being a thing, I think it's not as exciting as it used to be. I mean, I think we all just kind of expected to qualify ever since that expansion news got announced, right? So cool on them. My thoughts, I mean, there's a lot of things to be done before the start of that World Cup, which I guess we're gonna get into in a bit. But what about you, Erfan?
Obviously, you can't be sad after qualifying for a World Cup. So I am happy that we qualified fairly early on, as the past two editions. But yeah, I agree, Arya. I think there's a lot to be done. But and yeah, the expansion does make it a bit less exciting. But I think even if it's worth 32 teams, I think Iran has reached a stage where it's normal for it to qualify for the World Cup, and it's not as exciting as it was before.
Yeah, I completely agree with both of you. I think, yeah, we're one of the best teams in Asia. And yeah, with the expansion, we were always expected to qualify. I think you have to be pretty poor to like not qualify, to be quite honest. Throwing shade at other teams, but like I genuinely like it's with the expansion, like you what is good actually with this expansion is that you do get teams that wouldn't have qualified before qualifying, and I guarantee you they're a very passionate fan base, and it'll be good to see them at the World Cup. Like a team like Uzbekistan is a very good example of that. I'm quite excited to see them at the World Cup. But yeah, we'll talk about the UAE game first. So the first game in the international break, Iran against UAE. The first thing that's probably worth talking about was this was the first game in the Azadi Stadium for a long time. And I guess we got a good sort of view around what they've been doing in terms of the construction work and the building work, or like lack of. So I don't know. What are your general thoughts, guys, on that?
It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. I think Totemi said it as well. It's just embarrassing. Um, it's you look at these things and you're like, come on, man. It's like it's the basics that you've got to get right and you can't get right. I'm presuming you were talking about the whole lighting issue, right? And there wasn't actually much of an attendance, if I'm not mistaken, but I mean it was also during Nowruz, right? I mean, no one's gonna come to a Team Melli game at that time. But I'm interested to seeing what Erfan has to say because he's smiling on the bottom screen for me. So I'm very excited to see what he has to say.
No, it was just one of the players after the game said, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Javanbakhsh, but he said two of the Emirati players came up to me and they said, "Why are the lights out?" And he didn't know how to respond. And you got to feel for the players at that moment, because yeah, it's very embarrassing. I mean, it broke some records. Maybe we didn't want to break them. I'm sure Arya will talk about them later. But yeah, the construction overall has been embarrassing. I mean, it's been going on for like a year now. And to be honest, I don't see much changes except maybe the green seats. Other than that, it looks very similar to what it's been before.
Yeah, that I wasn't actually when I asked the question, I wasn't actually referring to the lighting situation. Like we were going to go on to that, but I was talking more around they've been building it for a long time. As Erfan said, looks like there's been hardly any progression, and it looks like they're really far away from a finished product. Like a lot of the seats weren't there. Um, yeah, it didn't. It seemed, if anything, it was like worse. It was like a half beat. And like, obviously, Taremi in the interview afterwards said some very harsh words around sort of the materials they use, the people that were in charge. He referred to it as pul shui, like money laundering. So yeah, he used some pretty harsh words. But yeah, talking about the lighting situation, it was crazy because when we were watching, so for people who maybe can't remember, like the light went out for I think about 25 minutes or so. And yeah, the players, the referee stopped the game. Players were all went inside. When we were watching, we had no idea what was going on. I had no idea. I don't know if you guys had any idea. It is embarrassing. It's not this isn't something that we should be going through. If we are like serious about the World Cup, these are grassroots and foundational things that we just can't get wrong. So yeah, I don't know whether you guys want to say anything else on that matter before we move on.
I mean, I think what's more embarrassing is we didn't have this issue before. Now, the fact that it's actually now becoming a thing is even more concerning. Um, for like the majority of that like period, I think, I mean, depending on which commentary you were watching, I think the English commentary said it was a VAR issue, and then I think the Iranian commentary said it was a lighting issue. So actually, no one actually had an idea of what the hell was going on. Now, personally, like, listen, the light's not working and all. Like, the game could have still been played, but per AFC regulations, right, they need the lighting to work. Um, yeah, I hope, sincerely hope this isn't something that's going to happen ever again because that is genuinely very embarrassing.
Yeah, and this isn't just a problem at the Azadi Stadium. I mean, all around Iran, there's corruption with these stadiums and these field changes, and yeah, it's all across the country. And what's funny to me is that Iran actually sent a bid to the AFC to host the 2027 Asian Cup. So like, just imagine like there's a game, Iran versus Japan, let's say, like the Asian Cup semifinals. It's a last minute. Japan are countering, and then boom, the lights go out and referee has to stop the game. It's just so funny to me that they're still um, ignoring the fact that we're so behind the other nations.
Yeah, it's not even behind. It's also like we're regressing, like we're going backwards. That's the crazy thing. Like forget about the lights. Like we don't even have the seats. Like it's like everything. It's insane. And on another sort of stadium thing, women were in the stadium. Uh, Again, like this has always been an issue where we haven't had women in the stadium. They were in the stadium for this game, which was obviously like nice to see. However, they were sort of in the very top of the stadium. It was raining fairly heavily as well, and they it's not nice to see. It's just like yeah. So when it comes to sort of proposing to host the Asian Cup, like is it's a we're light years away at the moment. You guys want to talk about the kits as well?
Okay, I guess I'll talk about it. So on the Team Melli Instagram page, there was a teaser of a green kit, inspired by Nowruz, and yeah, everyone thought it was going to be worn against the UAE, but no, it wasn't. And people were like, "Oh, maybe it's because UAE have their away kit is green, so it's probably going to be worn against Uzbekistan." But again, no. So they sent a teaser out for a kit, and then after that, nothing. They just ignored it, pretended it never happened, just like we never said anything. So I think that just shows how incompetent everyone at the federation is.
Yeah, and with this, we were talking about this before we recorded, but like we had a bit of a debate here because Erfan, you said that well, they never actually officially said that they would wear it, but then my response was, there's if it's inspired by Nouruz, then surely you would wear it within that time frame. You wouldn't wear it in say 6 months' time. That's number one, and number two, if you're teasing the kids that just before you're about to play an international game, you wear that kit. You don't. I don't understand the logic there. If you're releasing a new kit, which by the way it looks pretty cool, and it's like one of the first cool kits that I've seen for a number of years. Like our previous kits in the last few years have not been that nice. This is the first one where it sort of stood out. You don't tease it. If you're not going to wear it, you don't tease it. You release it at a later date and you say it's inspired by something else. Like, the timing just didn't make sense to me. And again, it highlights incompetence.
It's again embarrassing. We're gonna keep using this same usage of this word over and over because it's embarrassing. I mean, I've had so many people blow up my DMs, be like, "Where can I buy this, kid? Where can I get this? Are they gonna wear this?" And I was like, "Guys, I don't know. I have no clue." Um, but yeah, I guess officially because we were the home side in those two games, I guess technically again per AFC regulations, we couldn't have worn that third kit. But why tease it in that case, as you guys have both highlighted? Just incompetence, embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's talk about so we talk about the things around football. Let's talk about football specifically. So the first game against the UAE, 2-0 victory. Taremi wasn't in the side. He was carrying an injury. We had Mohebi. Ezatolai wasn't in the team either. We had Ruzbek playing. Um, what do you got? What are your general thoughts on the game? It was a pretty boring watch, to be quite honest with you. It was an expected win. Nothing really stood out in my eyes, but what do you guys think?
Okay, I guess I'll go. I expected a better match from UAE, to be honest. They brought in all these dual nationals. They had Caio Lucas, Lonzinho,
Brazilians.
from Sharjah, yeah, Brazilians. I expected better, but yeah, I think Iran just kind of dominated on all aspects. Expected, yeah, sure, but I think they controlled the game fairly well. Um, you had Cheshmi dominating and controlling the midfield, intercepting the balls here and there. I think that was a very good performance by him on his return. And of course, good performance from Mohebi as well, when Taremi wasn't there. But yeah, overall, I think it was a good performance, and tactically, I didn't have a problem with that game.
What about you,
Me
Arya?
personally, yeah, I think everyone you pretty much said everything. I think the plus 45 minutes of added time threw the UAE off as well. It has to be said. I mean, it was such a weird game. Um, I was very very happy of how some of the players played. Mohebi Osmoon, hate to say it, Chishmi as well was very very good. That game was decent. I know a lot of people complain about the lineup. I think we're all included in that. It wasn't a on paper, it wasn't a great lineup. I think the goal Bezan space went crazy before the game. Everybody was roasting that lineup, which rightfully so. It wasn't a good lineup. I think it was more of a situation of the UAE just not being good rather than Iran being
Yeah.
fantastic.
They still had chances though. They still had like decent enough chances that were caused by like mistakes, I would say. Like they didn't put them away. They didn't even get like shots off, but like they on another day they would have got like they would have I would say scored, and with another team we would have been punished. That's the thing. So I know you guys are saying like we played well and stuff, but I think we appeared to play well just because of the opposition. They didn't they didn't capitalize off our mistakes, of which there were quite a lot.
Yeah, I guess.
I get what you mean. I mean, they had a few chances. Yeah, UAE had like there was a header that they had at the end, the Kyle Lucas shot at the first half. But I think we also had a lot of good chances as well that we didn't finish off. I think it was Mohebi in the first few minutes that uh,
Yeah.
missed, and then yeah, there was his offside goal as well. So yeah, on another day, it could have been a good 4-1 or 4-2 game.
Mhm.
But yeah, UAE were they were as good as expected.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's move on to the Uzbekistan game. So this game, like building up to it, if we won or draw, it would have been a qualification for the World Cup. So everyone knew this. Everyone in the stadium knew this as well. Like all the fireworks across the stadium. But yeah, so what was different with this game? Taremi came in for Mohebi and Ezatolai came in for Cheshmi. No other changes happened in the side. I would have probably liked to see some rotation with the defense because they weren't too strong, I'd say, in the previous game. But yeah, this game was a bit more challenging for sure. Uh, I mean, you have to give credit to Uzbekistan. They definitely didn't play badly. And yeah, I don't know what you guys think.
I don't know if I can like fully go on a rant here. I might get Bezan suspended, but I had a lot of thoughts on the lineup, some of the player selections, and I think at Erfan, we've spoken about this before, where you've got Ghalenoei literally um, calling up some youngsters and Razakinia, Danyali, Khalifa, and all these guys, and these guys haven't even been in the matchday squad; they were in the reserves. What's the point of calling these guys up, right? It's a reoccurring theme. We're always calling up these guys. It was the same with Asha Shakuri a few months ago. This time it was Razakinia. So that's scary. Is that going to be a reoccurring thing where for the June window he's going to bring up some other youngster that's like 18 years old and just not play him? That's besides the football itself. I think a lot of players had very disappointing performances. I'm looking at Javanbakhsh. I think across both games he was very very poor. Clear indication for me, and it's tough to say. We all love Javanbakhsh, but I don't think he's starter material anymore. I think those two games have showed it. He's just too sluggish, too slow, and it's weird because the contrast between his club form and his national team form is two complete different players. Like he's actually decent with Herenveen and Eredivisie. I don't know what it is. As soon as he comes with us, he just turns into a complete different player. Osmoon had a weird game against Uzbekistan. Could have won it actually if he was a bit more clinical. I wasn't impressed with Ezatulahi. I think if on you're gonna mention him too, he was Jesus Christ, man. The guy just every opportunity he had is just he either shoots it, crosses it, and that's it. Like it's literally shoot and inshallah. Like hopefully I score, which is just terrible to have. I think the defense, Shoja Khalizadeh, I don't think I want to go into that. Genuinely, Sina, I don't think I want to go into that because Bezan is going to get suspended. Like terrible, terrible defending
Yeah, but he did
all
a
throughout the
bicycle kick to
game.
cross the ball. Do you not see that?
Oh
Do you not
wow,
see?
that
Do you not see the athletic ability to the bicycle kick it across the
oh
goal?
yes, man, amazing. And it's so funny because we've clearly got better defenders on the bench. Like genuinely, if it wasn't for that, we would have won the game. We would have won the game. I think we were better than Uzbekistan in that game. It's just the mistakes are catching up to us. And you know what? Again, we have to give credit to Uzbekistan, but if this is what's happening in Asian qualifiers, God knows what's gonna happen against the bigger sides. I mean, can you imagine we get like a Spain and you've got someone like Lamine Yamal on the wings against Shoja Khalizadeh? I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys can elaborate on that.
Yeah, it's the to give credit to Uzbekistan, they did play well, but their goals didn't come from them playing well, if that makes sense. Their goals came from very simple errors on our part. Like the cross, come on, it went through like the second goal I'm talking about here. It went through like three players, and then like the guy wasn't even going for goal. It just ended up going in, and then Beiranvand was just there like looking at where the ball's gone. We haven't talked about Baron Van. I think everyone sort of was crowding around him at the full-time whistle. Genuinely, I don't see why he's starting anymore. I think his days are also numbered, but Ghalenoei likes him, so he stays. I agree with you, Arya. Like if I was to talk about the defensive and the goalkeeper lineup, like we would be here forever because Mohammadi and Hardoni didn't even play well either. Like Mohammadi especially, like pretty dreadful in my opinion. Yeah, it was a tough one, and it makes me think as well from a tactical point of view. There were no tactics. I didn't see any sort of, you know, any intelligence with the play. It was just a case of Taremi turning up. And the two goals that he scored were pretty decent goals, especially the volley. If it wasn't for him, this wouldn't have been a victory, like because it was him like basically creating something out of nothing. And that's what I but again, with a harder opposition, one, they would have capitalized on more of our mistakes or made us make more mistakes. And two, Taremi wouldn't have been able to convert some of those half chances or get those half chances to begin with. So yeah, I'm genuinely worried about going into the World Cup. Erfan, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, I have a lot to say about this game. First of all, yeah, Uzbekistan didn't play bad, but they didn't play that well either. Yeah, I agree that it was them capitalizing off our mistakes. I mean, the guy who scored the first goal, Erkin, he plays here in the UAE. He has 0 goals this season, and he barely even starts for them. So I think that says a lot. And then their second goal as well, yeah, Faisal, it was a cross. It was not a shot at all. And then every player just decided to leave the ball, and then Bayram I guess he wanted to just pretend to be a statue. I don't know. But and then Ezatullahi, yeah, Arya mentioned him. I mean, the shot that he took in the first half, genuinely, like I wasn't even mad. I was laughing. It was crazy. Like that shot probably ended up in like some I don't know, some random uncle's house in Tajrish or somewhere, bro. Because that was an insane shot. And yeah, just the defense. I mean, Khalizadeh, he can literally be my father. He's like 36 now, isn't he? 30, yeah, 35, 36. Uh, and yeah, we have a lot to change, especially in the defensive line.
Yeah, and on the younger players' point, every other team in the world that's like a series, like actually qualifying for the World Cup and is one that you should sort of consider seriously. They're bringing younger players in. Like they're not once their sort of age gets to an average age of sort of above 30, they bring in. It's like a conveyor belt. They bring in new players. We're not doing that. Like I don't know when he's going to make this change. And you'd like to think now that we're qualified. Maybe he'll do it now. Who knows? But then I already think he's left it too late. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's too late. I've seen tons of contrarians on Twitter being like, "Oh, but we have to qualify for." With all the respect, first of all, I don't agree with the point of starting the older players is going to make us qualify for the World Cup. If anything, I think if we had started someone like Hasbavi or something, we would have even won that game against Uzbekistan. I don't think Hasbavi's making that mistake that Shoja Khalizadeh did. Nevertheless, that's besides the point. Um, I fail to see what Ghalenoei's plans are with the future players. I mean, he promised us after the Asian Cup that he's going to bring in fresh new blood. That hasn't really happened. They're treating the under 20, some of these under 20 players as make a wish kids, literally by just bringing them on and be like, hey, participate in training, participate, you can watch the game for free. That's literally it. Like, there's no other contribution from these poor guys. And I feel so bad because someone like Razarignan, who's been so good over the past few years at the youth level, at club level, doesn't deserve to start or anything. He deserved a cap of some sort, maybe at least a 10-minute or something. And then we look at the more established players like Hoseiny, he hasn't played a single minute. What's going on? And then you've got players like Sahar who hasn't even been called up. So, like, what's the plan here with the youth? And to say, oh, he's going to fix that in June, which is not a guarantee, is I think it's just not good enough.
Yeah, I think it's the defense that like is the real issue for me because these guys are getting older and they're forget about experience. Like genuinely, like I don't care because they don't have experience. Like they might be old as like age is one thing, experience is another thing. And I'm telling you, they in the big games they will make mistakes. Like I know Canoni won the penalty that beat like we beat Japan with, but the defenders first, and that they can't defend. I think even with Bayram as well, same issue. But yeah, anything else you guys want to mention about this game before we move on?
Actually, to be fair with Baron Van, I'll give him that. I think he was good against Uzbekistan. He actually saved that 1v1 against Fazulayev. I don't know if you guys remember. I think both keepers from both sides were very, very good in that game. But in general, in a more general sense, yeah, Baron Van,
Yeah, in the big games
reliable,
he doesn't turn up.
reliability. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anything from you, everyone, before we move on?
Uh, no, nothing. Just
All good.
yeah, we qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah, we qualified for the World Cup fireworks. Nice.
Oh, actually, yeah, I wanted to add something. Sorry, but it was so funny seeing them light up the fireworks 5 minutes before full time at the 2-2 draw against Uzbekistan. Like, a part of me hoped that Uzbekistan scored there, J- just so um, funny if they scored there. I mean, fireworks gone to waste.
To be fair to Uzbekistan as well, like after the game, I don't know if people saw this, but after the game, for like post match interviews, well, firstly, it's quite a difficult thing to take when you're in the stadium and they're setting off fireworks and things for a 2-2. You're a bit, it's a bit weird, but like in the post interviews, a lot of the players were congratulating Iran for qualifying, and it was a nice touch. So yeah, I think they were a classy act, I would say. Yeah, qualified for the World Cup. What's next now? We still have qualification games, so like I guess we can treat them as friendlies on our side, competitive friendlies. But we also do have friendlies coming up that we'll talk about in a second. But the main thing being Ghalenoei's future, because yeah, we've qualified for the World Cup. There are rumors circulating that he won't be our manager going into the World Cup. Seems like a strange rumor to be circulating around. Surely you want your World Cup. I mean, we've been in this situation before. It's not like this is new to us. But Erfan, I'll go to you. How concrete are these rumors? And I guess like, do you see Ghalenoei being the World Cup manager in 2026?
Um, I can't answer for sure, but a part of me says that he's going to be gone before the World Cup, possibly by this summer. And personally, I don't want that to happen because I'm not sure who this federation would bring in. Obviously, I don't think they'd go for an Iranian coach, but I'm so scared that another manager like I don't know Wilmot or someone similar will come, and we don't have much time, unlike the last World Cup. And I know Ghalenoei hasn't been the best. He has a lot of problems, but at the end the results are there, and I think that he should be the one leading us to the World Cup. But a part of me says that he won't be there at the World Cup. So
It's time to go, man. It's time to go. I've tweeted about this. I'm just tired of the constant favoritism, the oh, I like this player better than the other, the fake promises. I'm just tired of it. And also, huge point is, I mean, though in those rumors, people were saying that the players aren't happy with him. If that's the case, then why should he stay if the players aren't happy? Um, I don't know. It is very true that it is pretty late to sack a manager at this point, especially because the results are technically there. But it's more of a question of we have so much potential, and I know he's not going to be the one realizing that potential. If anything, he's completely blocking it. That's the issue I have with Ghalenoei. I wouldn't mind him being in charge if he could open his eyes and be like, okay, let's play these youngsters. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's have a better lineup. Whereas he just wants to constantly play the same players because he knows it's a safe bet and all that stuff. It for me, it's a no go. I think as a national team coach, you should bring in your best players. You should play your best players and figure out about all this. Oh, I like this player. I've played with this player. I've coached this player in the past. I love this guy. I don't like this guy. Uh, I'm kind of thinking of that Nourizadeh situation where like he just hasn't been called up with the national team anymore. Potentially try to fix that because he's still a decent player for us, in my opinion. But there's just a lot of things wrong with them that I just see us getting decimated in the World Cup, personally speaking.
Yeah, my
yeah,
my my thoughts on this are this like the last time we were in a similar situation was with Skocic last World Cup, and Carlos Queiroz came in because the players were very divided. He came in with less time if we were to switch now, but what the main thing there, in my opinion, was the team that we had for that World Cup. A lot of them were the same players, admittedly, but they were better than they are now. Like they were more in their primes, they were younger, they were more hungry as well. I think that Asian Cup loss really took a number on a lot of these guys, to be quite honest with you. I genuinely believe if they replace the manager now, the risk is far lower than it was before, because everyone, well, at least the fans' perspective, I don't know what they're thinking in the federation because I feel like they are fairly deluded when it comes to this, but everyone shares the belief that we're not going to play that well at the World Cup. Everyone shares that belief. We did not share that belief going into the last World Cup. In my eyes, like we were a better team, I would say. The protests that were happening at the time, the political situation, like hurt the players, I would say, and that's probably why we played so badly against England. But before that stuff happened, there was a lot of belief amongst fans that we would do a good job at the World Cup. For this one, seeing how Ghalenoei plays, seeing the team that he selects, seeing the tactics that he or the lack of tactics that he deploys, no one the hope isn't there, at least from what I hear and from what I read on Twitter and when I speak to fans. So I genuinely believe the risk is so low, like bringing in a foreign coach at this stage in the game.
Also, very sorry, Erfan, I'm going to cut you off in a bit. Very important to note the friendlies we had before the World Cup, where we won against Uruguay and we drew
We
to
drew
Senegal.
against the
That
African
confidence
champions.
goes.
Yeah.
Whereas now we're, with all due respect, struggling against sides like North Korea and Kyrgyzstan. I mean, we barely won against them. There's a huge dip in quality. Um, so I mean, we're going to talk about the friendlies as well in a bit, but I'll share more of my thoughts there.
Well, one thing I will say, you guys might disagree with me. I think that tactically on the pitch, like I don't mind. I don't mind Ghalenoei. I think we are creating the chances and we are playing fairly well at times, but the problem is outside the pitch, externally. I mean, it's a huge factor. The players he's deciding, the players he's giving time to, and the youngsters that he's not even giving a minute. I think this is all a big part of management. And we spoke to Afshin Ghotbi a few days ago, me and Arya. I think he said something very important. He said that coaching nowadays has become managing not only the team but the whole group of players as a whole. And I think that Ghalenoei lacks that. And yeah, but tactically, I think he's fine. But yeah, his favoritism has cost him a lot.
I don't know. I couldn't disagree with that more. Like Uzbekistan game is a very prime example, a very recent example. The midfield was pressing up. I'll tell you what the tactics were. I'll tell you right now. Khalizadeh and Kanani and sometimes Ezatollah would drop, receive the ball. They'd see what's going up in the final third, and they would just like hit it forward. That's what the tactics were, and a few of the bounces would go through, and we just did this for about 80 minutes. He didn't do any good substitutions, I would say, and everyone was calling out for substitutions at halftime. The system wasn't
Substitution is another
working.
big problem.
He doesn't
A
make
huge
substitutions.
problem.
They're all negative. Like he just sticks with the like I love Javanbakhsh and a lot of the fans do as well. He needed to go off at halftime. He was not good enough. He was losing the ball. He wasn't carrying it. He wasn't really doing anything positive. That's okay as long as we and we've actually we're blessed with pretty good wingers. That's the thing. Like that's probably where we're the strongest in terms of positioning. You can bring on Nourizadeh far earlier, and when he came on, he actually wasn't terrible. So tactics wise, I couldn't disagree with you more, Erfan. I really don't see tactics here. The reason why we won this game is because Taremi's a good player. End of, in my opinion.
But I think the chances were there, don't you think? We created the chances.
But
They
it's
were,
it's almost like saying like you put talented players on a pitch without a manager and they will still create chances. You see what I mean?
I get what you mean, but yeah, I think the substitution part is also another part of the external factors that I think he's getting wrong. I think the tactics wise he's fine, but I think it's the wrong players that he's giving the tactics to. Arya, I don't know what you have to say. You might agree with me.
I don't know how you can be here in 2025 be a football manager and still think someone like Zadeh is good enough to play for Team Melli. He's not even good in the PGPL. So there's not even that excuse of, oh, but he's doing well in the PGPL. He's not even doing good in the PGPL. He's not even top five. So there's favoritism going on there. He likes these players on a personal level. Maybe they make up in bed. I don't know. But it's just like you don't see that in any other serious football federation. And for a team that's ranked 17th, 18th, I don't know. Again, I'll use the word that I said in the beginning, embarrassing. It's not something that should be happening if you want to have any sort of future with this team, things like that can't run because it's going to hurt you badly.
Yeah, another thing on the rotation when it comes to younger players is that these, I'm not questioning motivations or anything, but I think on a subconscious level, if you're consistently not playing your best, but you know that you've got that play solid, subconsciously, like you won't play as well. Whereas if you play badly in the 45 minutes that you've been given, another player will come in that's more hungry than you. You will subconsciously raise your levels, and that's just not the case. He will play Javanbakhsh, he will play Ghalenoei, and he will play Ghalenoei. Doesn't matter how well they play. That's the situation.
And it also sets a terrible example to the players because you got someone like Rae genuinely going crazy, like I said, in the youth level in the PGPL, dying to get a spot. And when he finally gets it, doesn't even get a single minute. What example does that set to the other players in the league or outside? We're like, I mean, what's the point? You're going to call up Shota and play him for the full 90 anyways,
That's what
right?
yeah, exactly,
It's
exactly.
just,
It demoralizes the players that actually do play well in their clubs. I agree
Mhm.
with that.
and it's something so simple to fix, yet he's just being so stubborn about it, and it just bothers me so much because
Yeah.
fix that, and we're genuinely sort of back. I'm not saying we're back, we're sort of back. Um,
So yeah, going back to the original question, Erfan, you said that you don't see him being the manager of the World Cup. Is there a reason behind that?
Yeah, I mean, with the rumors circulating and the fact that the World Cup is in the United States, um, I don't think maybe not the federation, but I don't think the officials higher up would want any chance of Iran failing at said World Cup or playing badly. So yeah, in my opinion, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but in my opinion, he's gonna leave after the qualifiers. And Estaval already not got in contact with him, but there are rumors that they want to get him for next season. So yeah, in my opinion, he won't be there.
Well, if they do decide to do it, then sooner is definitely better than later. Okay, let's talk about the two friendlies that are coming up. So the two friendlies that have been confirmed are Chile and Russia. There are some rumors that I don't know if they've been squashed or they're still circulating, but Belgium and Turkey as well are other potential teams that we could play in friendlies. Chile, Russia was sort of a given. I think everyone expected that one. Chile's a decent team. We always like South American teams always challenge us, so that it's definitely good. And yeah, I don't think Russia's a bad team either. So they're two pretty decent friendlies, I would say. Arya, what do you
Yeah, and we
reckon?
have
Or Erfan?
yeah we have so those games will be in October, and we have the CAF Nations Cup as well a month before it. So I'll not say much on the CAF part,
let's
but I think
go.
We're
I'm
the
so
holding
excited for my
holding
favorite
champions.
competition. My favorite competition is back. Let's go.
can't wait to play Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan for the 70th time. But yeah, on the friendlies, no, I think it's good friendlies, and hopefully when the European teams finish with their qualifiers, because they have World Cup qualifiers now, we can play some of them as well.
Yeah, I don't think CAF is a bad thing. Like it gets more minutes for younger players if he does play them, but we'll
He
see.
won't.
He
Younger
should.
players like Khalilzadeh.
Yeah,
Young players like 36-year-old Shoja
he's
Izode.
in his prime. Okay, yeah, that's everything on our side then. Do you guys want to talk about the U17 Asian Cup very quickly before we wrap up?
Uh, I guess we can mention our group. So Iran is in Group D with Tajikistan and North Korea and Oman. Now it might look like an easy group, but this U17 side side has been lacking a bit. We lost to North Korea in the qualifiers. We lost to Tajikistan on penalties at the CAF Cup. So yeah, I don't know. This team is a bit weird, obviously coached by Abbas Chamanian, the guy that got us to the U17 World Cup quarterfinals back in 2017. The top two teams from each group go to the World Cup. So hopefully they do manage to do that. And yeah, the games will be held in Saudi Arabia.
All right, fantastic. So yeah, I'll wrap up the podcast there, guys. It's been a pleasure having you guys on. I guess the bottom line is we've qualified for the World Cup in I guess mixed reception fashion. Stadium's not working, but we have qualified. It's a good thing that we're not playing the World Cup in Iran. Otherwise, no one will can see the ball. Yeah, so I guess looking forward, we've got the friendlies coming up. We've got more qualification games, so we'll definitely cover them. And we will keep you guys at home updated with any changes to the team, manager, and future podcasts that come out. Anything else you want to say, guys, before we wrap up?
Please never call up Raja Khalizadeh ever again. Please. That's it.
Please always call up Uzbekistan. That's it.
I really hope Uzbekistan doesn't go to the World Cup. I really don't want him to go. Oh God, we won't talk about that. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for watching the podcast. As always, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much. Leave a like rating as well.
This is international football commentator Derek Rae from ESPN and EA Sports. You're listening to Bezan podcast.